How fun is this? Okay, I'm talking about a different subject today. One of the things that's happening here in the Seattle area is we're all going nuts for our Seahawks, our NFL football team. They're now 10-1, which is the first time in Seattle's history that they've ever had a team this good. Even when they went to the Super Bowl 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Oh, those of you in astrology should hear that and go ding, 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 because that means something. Now, yes, it does mean something, because I'm going to come back to the referencing a favorite planet of mine, probably my most favorite planet, although it's probably not anybody else's, but it is me, and that's Saturn. Saturn, I did a chart. I did the very first chart of when they played their very first game. It was a preseason game, August 1st, 1976. And so what I decided to do was look at that chart and see what was happening, because pretty much that point in time is when they actually started physically playing on the playing field. I wasn't really concerned so much about, when the franchise started, although those would probably be significant points. But the big point would have been the first time they took to the field. And that's when they did. It was a preseason game. And I believe they played the San Diego Chargers, I think. I can't remember for sure. But the point is that when the chart created for that moment in time, we had Saturn next to the Sun in Leo. Now, this tells me something about kind of how you label the team. What kind of energy can you expect to see happening when, look at my glasses, they're terrible. Let me take this off. Thank you very much. What can you expect to see with a Saturnian team? Well, a team that takes a long time to develop. Its talent, its base, its depth, because what you're looking for in a team is that have you got a great starting lineup, but what's behind that starting lineup? Do you have depth to the team? Do you have people that can step in and do the same job? Well, it's taken a long time, but back in 2005, when Seattle went to the Super Bowl, that was on their is on their Saturn return. Almost exactly 1 degree separating. Saturn had returned back to about 7 degrees of Leo, and that is the degree, 6 degrees Leo, is the placement of the Saturn in the original chart of the first game. So you could say, make a statement that Saturn had obviously let this team arrive, quote unquote, in the NFL. For so many years, I can remember and talk about this team being just stupid little expansion team that nothing was ever going to happen from it. Then all of a sudden we ended up not all of a sudden, 29 years, we end up in the Super Bowl. We didn't win. Okay, so what does that say? This team had some growth yet to do. Yes, something about maturity, something about depth, something about getting the right coaching, getting right all the elements together. Now, let me say about this team now. Right now, or exactly, I should say, the date of the first preseason game this year, Saturn was exactly squaring the natal position of Saturn in the very first chart of the first game ever played. Almost exactly. Saturn was at 7 Scorpio. So what do you think this might mean? In the cycle of 29 years with Saturn, this is what we call the first quarter square. Sort of like a first quarter square of the moon, but it's actually this first quarter square of Saturn. This tells me something about this team, that it has taken 7 years to come back from that defeat. And I don't mean it in the sense that it beat them down. I mean it in the sense that they had to regroup and look at what they did and didn't do in that game and somehow work through all those issues. And now we're arriving at the first quarter square where they're going to test out the improvements, the new improvements they've implemented. They have added to depth. They've done a lot of Saturnian things in the last year. It started last year when they when they brought in this new quarterback, Russell Wilson. It was phenomenal, and it's such a mature kid at such an early age. It's phenomenal. So I don't want to make this a long diatribe, but what I am saying is this, that Saturn is actually rewarding this team for the work that it's done. Doesn't mean it's over, not by a long shot. This is the test, the first quarter test. Did you learn a lesson of what happened back at the Super Bowl in 2005-06 that got you better prepared to handle this thing again. We're going to test you. We might send you to the Super Bowl again and see if you've learned anything. Wouldn't that be neat? Yes, go Seahawks. And number 24, Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch. Yes, I love the team. They're so much fun to watch. Now, that's my commentary on this. If you guys have anything you would like to add in comments, please put them below. I'm not going to go so far as to say that this is a definite win for the Seahawks, but I think there's every good chance they're going to come back to the scene of the crime in the Super Bowl, and we'll see exactly how much they've learned from Saturn over the last 7 years. Have a good day.